Good evening and welcome to VicMania Thursday Night Racing. This week we are at Alton Park. Tonight's rules, the same as last week, 60-minute race, no mandatory pit stop and refueling specifically banned. Here are the qualifying results. Pole position to Jack Tunks with 132.485. Blistering pace tonight. Lights out and away we go. Everyone through the first corner relatively cleanly. A little bit of bump and shove. Johnson gets around the outside of Jack Tunks around the first corner for the lead. However, going into turn 3, he slips a little bit wide and the position is handed back to Jack. Further back in the field, Ben Fletcher makes a dive on Noah Reynolds into turn 3 and gains the position. Going into turn 4, Reynolds has a little bit of a wibble. That gives Hamilton an opening, which definitely closes, and Carnage ensues. Hamilton and Noah have been taken out. All drivers involved agreed that Hamilton was at fault. Vinny had an accident on the exit of Druids on the first lap. Ben Fletcher had a bit of a brown pants moment as he exited the corner and ducked a little bit right. On the second lap, Ben Fletcher had an off at Britton's, which allowed Icarus to get past him. At the back of the field, Reynolds and Hamilton had caught up on O'Brien, the three Batman teammates going toe-to-toe through turns 1, 2 and 3. Reynolds got round the outside of O'Brien at turn 3. Hamilton took a run down the straight towards turn 4. This one will be deemed a racing incident. In a spot of bad luck, Wolfer found himself beached in the grass at the hairpin. Ben Fletcher fell foul of the apex bumps again, this time losing a position to Lester at Knickerbrook. By the start of the 5th lap, Tunks had pulled out a bit of a gap to Johnson, and there were gaps throughout the field. Heckinger lost positions to Reynolds and Hamilton on 2 consecutive laps at Druids. Dylan Lester did a similar thing on lap 8. 2 laps later, he would earn a drive-through for track limits and elect a DNF, not finding favour with the Ferrari. Lap 15 saw Fletcher have a bit of an off on the exit of Britton's. Reynolds was recovering well, having got up on the back of Jared Ing as well. Lap 25 saw Hamilton have a network issue and was deleted from the server. He was able to rejoin the server, however. Hamilton rejoined on fresh tyres and low fuel and made this mistake on the second lap out. Icarus became another driver to fall foul of the turn 4 curb. The damage eventually catching up with him as well. Eagles made an error at turn 3 on lap 30, turning his car around, and this let McMillan through. On fresh tyres, Hamilton was all over the back of Wolfer, who was recovering from his earlier beaching incident. However, he made this mistake going into Britain's, which allowed Hamilton past. At the end of that lap, Wolfer had this incident. Jared Ing had done a fantastic job of holding off Reynolds for the best part of 20 laps, however, towards the end of the race, he managed to make an error, and that finally let Reynolds through. Jack Tunks took the glory, winning by a monstrous 15 seconds. Looking at the results, first, second, third, Jack Tunks, John Zhu and Skinny Luke. And then in AM class was Icarus, then Fletcher, then Heckinger. To the championships results, and first, second, third is Tunks, Jozen, Skinny Luke, and then in AM class, Ing, Icarus and Fletcher. Thanks for joining us. Next week we're at Barcelona.